How the hell does a planet that launched amazing iPhones, electric cars, and Wi-Fi in your toilet manage to let coffee, the miracle bean that wakes us up in the morning, die in the vine? We have scientists building futuristic flying cars and AI that can predict your mood by Tuesday. Meanwhile, the main thing that starts your day is now facing extinction. Not just scarcity or sudden price hike, extinction. What and who is to blame for this tragedy? Let's start with climate change. No surprise, it has turned coffee plants into climate refugees. Picture this: beans used to thrive in temperature between 19 and 23 degrees. Now they are bouncing between 32 and 15. Imagine yourself bouncing between the perfect room temperature for sleeping, a summer day in July without a shade, and your living room without an aircon in winter. Come on, plants like us need some stability to survive. But how, if the weather keeps throwing curveball at them? It is real. Science confirmed that warmer temperatures are shrinking the land where coffee can grow, and that directly threatens the genetic diversity required for future crop resilience. Without wild species to breed with, farmed coffee loses its ability to withstand pests like coffee leaf rust and change weather patterns. Approximately 75 out of 124 known wild coffee species are at high risk of extinction. They and their vital genetic traits need to adapt farmer crops to new environmental stresses, all gone in a decade. So, what's the big deal? Well, there are 124 known species, but we mostly drink domesticated version of only two: Arabica, which accounts for 2/3 of the global market, and Robusta, which comprises the rest. But Arabica is especially susceptible to diseases such as the devastating coffee leaf rust fungus, and Arabica Robusta hybrids that were once resistant are beginning to succumb as well. Can you see the scope of the tragedy? Rainfall. Now it's a gamba, just like everything else, but okay. Either floods drown the coffee cherries in soggy slurry, or droughts turn plants into beggars. Yes, they beg some water to the clouds, but no, they go on longer strikes than Lufthansa's ones. In the end, coffee is getting 3 seconds of sun, 2 seconds of rain, and a caption announcing the Hunger Games have begun. Deforestation. Shade-grown coffees used to be the golden standard. Beans sipping some sunlight under the canopy trees, their natural parasol. And now, the forest is gone. Why? To make ways for soybean farms and cattle grazing. Because we're not just farming coffee anymore, we are farming maximum profits. As a result, the coffee plants now sit in the sun, like a kid in a summer camp wearing a helmet and SPF 50. It is literally baking under temperatures it used to be bearable for a weekend trip, but not for a full-time job. The trees, gone. The shade, replaced by new neighbors. Soybeans, cows. Soil depletion. Monoculture farming focuses on planting just a coffee and forget about the soil. The ground used to be nutrient-rich biofat, but now the coffee plants are eating the same nutrient-poor sandwich every day during years. Why? The soil is depleted because the same nutrients are being pulled out year after year without no time to recover. The soil is like you after a gym routine, weak, tired, and asking for a break. Unwelcome pets like coffee rust. The coffee rust is a fungus that looks like someone sneezed on the leaves. It starts as a yellow patch, then turns orange, rust, and spreads like a wildfire. The plant is now trying to brew coffee, but can't even make it taste like coffee anymore. Science-wise, coffee rust attacks the leaves, reducing photosynthesis, causing the beans to be smaller, less flavorful, and about 25% more expensive. Your latte, now a mystery bean slurry with 30% sugar just to make it taste like espresso again. Economic impact. The loss of wild varieties and declining yields lead to higher prices and reduced quality, as the industry loses ability to crossbreed for drought and disease resistance. According to the data from the FAO, global coffee prices have surged by 40% since 2020, driven by droughts in Brazil, Ethiopia, and Vietnam, the biggest coffee producers on the planet. That's why your 3 buck cup of coffee is now costing 5, and of course, it's not over yet. How the heck are you going to wake up every morning if the coffee becomes a relic of the 20th century? Listen, experts say that the immediate threat to wild biodiversity and the stability of the global supply chain is real and significant. However, the coffee will not vanish completely. Domesticated variants like Arabica and Robusta will likely continue to be produced, but amount and quality are factors that definitely will change. The 60% of wild coffee species disappearing in the next decade or two, probably the future you will wake up every morning with a very expensive lab-made coffee version with 70% water and 30% hope, an ultralight version of what used to be an espresso. Or perhaps by then there will be products in the markets with labels like beverage with coffee taste, espresso type flavor, but not the authentic and delicious coffee you enjoy today. Guys, in the past we have already lost essentials. If you are my age or older, you know, but for the Gen Zs, here is a painful flashback. Once upon a time, Gros Michel bananas ruled the world due to their delicious flavor, size, and great nutrition, until they went extinct due to a devastating fungal disease and by over reliance on a single variety. Yes, we lost decades ago, so you and I haven't tasted a real banana in our lives. What we got is the Cavendish banana, smaller, less sweet, and less nutritious. We got what science managed to rescue to replace the big loss. Ask your grandpa or your great great grandpa if you don't believe it. And there are more issues to address in this zone, but how if science and money are invested mostly on developing war tech and AI? Guys, do we really want to suffer starvation rather than to prevent it? This rant is about coffee extinction, but the truth is that it's not only about the coffee. Honeybees are barely surviving these days, even they play a vital role in our food system. They pollinate many of the crops we depend on, besides almonds, apples, and yes, coffee. The ultimate pollinators are now like a friend who never shows up to your party. Cocoa beans, the chocolate we love, is also struggling with climate change, poor natural pollination, soil depletion, massive high costs due to different civil wars. Vanilla. If you can find and afford real vanilla, congrats. Currently, prices and availability all depend on a climate chaos in Madagascar. Do we really have to spend billions on deadly missiles, electric cars, smart homes, even a toaster with a Wi-Fi that can make a toast in the shape of a heart? I absolutely prefer to save food and my coffee. I want to drink coffee and not a 5 or 6 bucks something that looks like a coffee, smells like a gym sock, and tastes best case like a new thing. Speak up, push back, and stop letting others decide what you will eat and drink in the future. We can also learn more about climate change and carbon footprint reduction, support initiatives for planting trees or organic farming so the soil isn't a desert by 2030. Hit the like button if you agree or comment your reasons to prefer your silly, I can say also stupid, Wi-Fi toaster that can make your toast in the shape of a heart. Subscribe and let's rant together.
So, coffee, chocolate, or vanilla? You only can say one.
No, I want all of them. I want a coffee with a chocolate cake and a vanilla pudding.